Chapter 3, Mishnah 12. The following Mishnah deals with the law of Shelichut Yad, literally sending the hand. This is where a shomer takes the deposited item in order to keep all or some of it permanently for himself, or to use it in a way that would permanently ruin all or some of it. If any shomer, even an unpaid one, does this, he is considered a thief, who is responsible for all losses, even those that he could not have prevented. In the Mishnah's first case, after the shomer took the item for himself, shiluchas yad, it went through a physical change that affected its value. He later lost the item in a way that he could not have prevented. The Mishnah cites a disagreement among Tanaim as to how much the shomer must pay. If a shomer took the deposited item for himself and then it physically changed, after which he lost it unavoidably, Beis Shammai say he suffers the value of the change, whether the change is a decrease or increase. For example, a case of decrease is where he stole a pregnant animal that then gave birth, which is a decrease in the mother. Later he lost both the animal and the newborn. It is not enough for him to pay what the animal was worth at the time of the theft. Rather, he must pay the value of the animal after it gave birth and the value of the newborn. An example of increase is where he stole an animal that was not pregnant and then it became pregnant, and later he lost the animal. Here too it is not enough for him to pay what the animal was worth at the time of the theft, before it became pregnant. Rather, he must pay the value of the animal in its pregnant state. It emerges that no matter whether the item decreased or increased after the theft, the shomer has to pay for the change. Beis Hillel disagree, but Beis Hillel say he pays according to its value at the time of its removal from the owner's possession. He pays only what it was worth at the time of the theft, and no more. A third opinion. Rabbi Akiva says he pays according to its value at the time of the claim against him in court. He pays only for an increase in value that occurred before he is tried in court, and not before an increase in value that occurred later. The Mishnah presents a dispute as to whether shlichus yad includes speech. If a shomer intends to take the deposited item for himself, that is, he says so in front of witnesses that he intends to take the item, but he did not yet do so, Beis Shammai say that he immediately becomes responsible, even for unavoidable loss, because even a statement of intent is considered shlichus yad. But Beis Hillel say he is not responsible for unavoidable loss until he physically takes it for himself, because it is stated in Exodus 22:7, if he, the shomer, did not lay his hand upon his fellow's property, which implies a physical act, and not just speech. The Mishnah elaborates upon Beis Hillel's opinion. How does a shomer perform shlichus yad? If he tilted a barrel of wine and took a revius from it for himself, and later the barrel broke because of an unavoidable accident and all the wine spilled out, he pays the owner only for the revius of wine and not for the rest. In order to be liable for shlichus yad, the shomer must perform an act of acquisition, kinyan, with the item. For example, pulling or lifting it. Merely tilting a barrel is not a kinyan. Thus, the shomer is not liable for the entire barrel, but only for the revius that he lifted out of it. However, if he lifted the barrel with the intention to take a revius of wine from it for himself, and then the barrel broke because of an unavoidable accident, he must pay for its entire value. By lifting the barrel, he performed a kinyan on the barrel as a whole, and he is therefore liable for the entire barrel.